From the first moment humanity looked up to the skies, they dreamed of gods. But what happens when one of those gods walks among us? What happens when a woman forged by the will of the divine carries both mercy and war in her hands? This is the story of Wonder Woman. She is not just a hero. She is a myth reborn. Her name is Diana of Themyscira, daughter of Hippolyta, molded from clay and blessed by the gods themselves. The Amazons believed she would remain hidden forever, kept safe on their island paradise. But destiny does not obey rules, and Diana was never meant to stay hidden. When the world burned during the First World War, Diana made a choice. She left her home, breaking her mother's command, to stand alongside mankind. She believed love could end war. She believed the gods had given her life for a greater purpose. And for the first time, the world saw the impossible. A warrior who could block bullets with her bracelets, a soldier who fought with compassion, and a leader who bore the weight of gods. But Diana's story is not one of peace alone. Through decades she has walked among us, immortal, unaging, carrying the burden of both savior and stranger. She has fought alongside the Justice League, stood against titans like Darkseid, and even defied gods such as Ares and Hades. Every battle has forged her spirit sharper than her sword. Yet her strength is not in her power alone. It lies in her code, in the unshakable belief that mercy is not weakness. That truth is the most dangerous weapon of all. And this is where the clash begins. Because while Diana fights with honor, the universe is about to introduce her opposite. A warrior born not of gods, but of war itself. A soldier who does not wait for mercy, but takes victory by force. But before we meet her opponent, we must see the full scope of Diana's journey. Through the Cold War, through the shadows of modern times, Wonder Woman became more than myth. She became symbol, a reminder that humanity's flaws do not erase its potential, but symbols cast shadows. And while Diana's compassion defines her, those shadows have always whispered the same question. What happens when mercy is not enough? The gods blessed her with strength beyond measure. Yet strength attracts challengers. Every battle Diana faces is not just against monsters or villains. It is against the idea that her code of honor can survive in a world built on cruelty. That is why this clash matters. Because Diana, the Amazon, fights for ideals. But her rival, Carol Danvers, does not fight for ideals. She fights because war is all she knows. So when these two warriors meet, the battle will not only be of fists and lightning. It will be a war of philosophies. Gods versus soldiers. Myth versus reality. And the question will no longer be who is stronger, but whose truth survives. Before we enter the battlefield, remember this: every legend begins with belief. And Diana's belief is simple. That even in the darkest hour, hope will rise. But when hope meets fire, what survives the flames? Stay with us as we dive deeper into this mythic clash. And if you love exploring the secret histories of heroes and gods, subscribe now, because the battle of Amazon versus Kree warrior is only just beginning. If Diana's story begins with gods, then Carol's story begins with stars. Far away from the peaceful shores of Themyscira, another warrior was forged, not by divine blessing, but by the cruel hand of war. Her name is Carol Danvers. Once she was just a human, a skilled pilot, brave and relentless, always chasing the skies. But fate is never ordinary for those destined to change worlds. During a mission that went horribly wrong, Carol was caught in the explosion of a Kree device. It should have ended her story. Instead, it rewrote her existence. Her DNA fused with alien power. Her body became a conduit for cosmic energy itself. And in that moment, Captain Marvel was born. Unlike Diana, Carol had no gods to guide her. No immortal sisterhood to protect her. She was taken in by the Kree Empire, a civilization built not on ideals but on conquest. The Kree saw her not as a savior, but as a weapon. They trained her, hardened her, and unleashed her upon the galaxy. Every battle she fought burned away the human softness inside her. She became a soldier of efficiency, a warrior whose fists carried the force of supernovas. And slowly, the The pilot who once chased the horizon became something else, a force that bent the horizon itself. Carol's story is not about compassion. It is about survival. She rose through pain, betrayal, and endless battles, until she became a name whispered in both fear and respect. To the Kree, she was their greatest weapon. To the enemies of the Kree, she was their greatest nightmare. But deep inside, fragments of her humanity remained. The pilot who once dreamed of the stars never truly vanished. And it is this struggle that defines her, the tension between Carol the soldier and Carol the human. Unlike Diana, who seeks peace, Carol seeks victory. Where the Amazon sees honor, the Kree warrior sees weakness. And where Wonder Woman believes in mercy, Captain Marvel believes mercy gets soldiers killed. This difference is not small. It is everything. When Carol returned to Earth after years of war, she found a planet too fragile, too vulnerable. And in her eyes, the only way to keep it safe was not through compassion but through power. She became one of Earth's most formidable defenders, battling threats like Thanos, cosmic tyrants, and galactic invasions. Her strength was unmatched, her will unshaken, but it came at a price. The more Carol fought, the more she believed that only she could protect the world, that her judgment outweighed anyone else's. And this is where the collision course with Diana truly begins. Because Wonder Woman does not fight for control. She fights for choice. She fights for freedom. And for Diana, no one, god or mortal, has the right to dictate the fate of humanity. So what happens when a godlike warrior who believes in mercy meets a cosmic soldier who believes only in force? What happens when compassion collides with conquest? Before the clash begins, we must understand Carol's greatest truth. She does not see herself as a goddess. She sees herself as a soldier. And soldiers do not hesitate. They strike. They conquer. They win. This is what makes her dangerous. Unlike Diana, who holds back for the sake of mercy, Carol does not hold back at all. Her fists burn with cosmic fire. Her flight breaks the sound barrier, and her rage can ignite the sky itself. So when the day comes that these two legends meet, the battlefield will shake with two opposing truths. Diana will fight to protect humanity's heart. Carol will fight to enforce humanity's survival. And in the middle lies the question neither can avoid. What is the price of being a hero? Because if Wonder Woman represents the dream of gods walking among mortals, then Captain Marvel represents the fear of soldiers who never stop fighting. And when dreams clash with fears, the world itself trembles. But the true battle is still to come. And when it arrives, it will not be about who can strike harder. It will be about whose truth can survive the storm. The Amazon's mercy versus the Kree warrior's fire. Both legends. Both unstoppable. And only one philosophy can endure. The battlefield is set. On one side, Diana of Themyscira, the Amazon princess, armed with the wisdom of gods and the fire of justice. On the other, Carol Danvers, the Kree warrior, forged in war, burning with cosmic power. Two legends. Two destinies. One inevitable collision. It begins not with fists, but with philosophy. Diana stands tall, her voice steady. She speaks of freedom, of choice, of humanity's right to stumble, fall, and rise again. Carol does not answer with words. She answers with action, her fists glowing like stars ready to burn. The first strike is thunder. Carol launches herself like a comet, her energy lighting the sky. Diana raises her bracelets, the clash ringing like steel upon steel. The shockwave rattles the earth, sending tremors across the battlefield. But this is not just a fight of strength. It is a clash of ideals. Diana moves with grace, every strike measured, every defense controlled. She fights with restraint because restraint is her code. But Carol is fire unchained. She fights with the fury of a soldier who has seen too many wars. Every blow she throws is meant to end the fight. The air itself becomes a storm. Lightning crackles around Diana's lasso. Cosmic fire radiates from Carol's fists. Two lights blaze against each other, godly gold against cosmic blue. And in that storm, humanity watches, powerless to intervene. But what makes this battle terrifying is not who is stronger. It is that both believe they are right. To Diana, Carol is dangerous because she refuses to show mercy. To Carol, Diana is dangerous because she hesitates when victory demands ruthlessness. The fight rages across the sky, through mountains, through oceans, each clash tearing the world around them. Diana hurls her shield like divine judgment. Carol answers with photon blasts that explode like suns. Every impact is a question, every block an answer. Yet, as the battle drags on, truth begins to emerge. Carol's strength is relentless, but it is fueled by anger. Diana's strength is balanced, rooted in patience, forged in centuries of discipline. Carol burns fast and furious. Diana endures. And slowly, Carol begins to realize, this is not a fight she can simply win with force. Because no matter how hard she strikes, Diana rises again. Not out of rage, not out of pride, but out of love. Love for the world. Love for truth. This is the difference between them. Carol fights to protect through dominance. Diana fights to protect through hope. The clash reaches its peak. Carol gathers her power, glowing brighter than a star, her final strike ready to break mountains. Diana wraps her hand around the lasso of truth, its golden light shining not as a weapon, but as a promise. And then impact. The world shakes. Silence follows. Carol kneels, the lasso coiled around her. Its power does not burn her. It reveals her. And in that moment, the soldier sees her truth. She is not just a warrior. She is still Carol Danvers, the pilot who once dreamed of the skies. The human who longed for freedom, not control. Diana does not strike again. She offers her hand. Because to Wonder Woman, victory is not about destroying your opponent. It is about saving them from themselves. The battle ends not with triumph, but with understanding. For even in defeat, Carol realizes something vital. Strength without compassion is empty. And for Diana, the clash proves once again that mercy is not weakness. It is power. So who wins? Some will say Wonder Woman because she stood unbroken. Others will say Captain Marvel because her fire forced the Amazon to her limits. But the real victory is in the lesson that heroes are not measured by power, but by purpose. And perhaps that is why this battle will never truly end. Because every time mercy meets fire, every time compassion meets conquest, the clash will echo across myths, across stars, across us. 2 women, 2 warriors, 2 truths, and 1 eternal question. When the world needs saving, do we need a god or a soldier? This is the legend of the Amazon and the Kree warrior. And it will be told as long as humanity dreams of heroes. If you want to dive deeper into the untold battles, myths, and rivalries of gods and soldiers, make sure to subscribe, because every story we tell brings you closer to the hidden truths of DC and Marvel's greatest legends.